All right, I'm back, baby. Let's go. Today, I want to talk about my song Hold On. This song has been going off on YouTube Music, and I'm so thankful. I feel, overwhelmed by the amount of people listening to it. And if you found me through that, welcome. Hey. I'm going to talk today about sampling and not using vinyl. I used to use vinyl, and my biggest song to date has a vinyl sample on it. And I just kind of I've got it here actually. Here it is. This isn't the song. This is the sample. The song is called "Twice as Tough." Features Mentionaire. It has this on it, which is Maori favorites. I love this kind of stuff. It's beautiful, beautiful, uh, beautiful singing on this. And basically, what I used to do was I'd have a vinyl player, and then with my vinyl player, I would play what I'm working on, and then I just spin stuff over the top, see if I could match keys and see what works, and if I could chop. And it was a really fun way to do stuff. However, it took me 6, maybe even longer, maybe 9 months. Yeah, it was such a pain in the ass to clear, but we got there. And it was really important to me that I do clear things correctly. So, some people the story is, I don't know how true it is, but the Avalanches have a whole team constantly clearing their samples. I don't have a whole team. um, I guess I want to talk to you today about how I do it now. And I still want to get that. I love working with samples. I love working with old vinyl stuff. I use this website. It's called Tracklib. They aren't paying me to sponsor this, but I find it really good. I was signed to a label. It was hard to use Tracklib because of the way the royalties work. But now I'm indie. It's actually a piece of cake, and I just have to keep track of my royalties on it. And it's fantastic. So today, I want to look at how I just made Hold On, how I found the sample, how I kind of came about that chord progression at the start and where it started. I just want to show you the sample, essentially, for what it is. Anyway, that's that. Basically, the way I generally start writing music is maybe I should take my glasses off, but I won't be able to see anything. I've got a light. When I'm writing music, I kind of scanning through samples, and I found that line, "I'll be done with the trouble of the world," and I just found it really impactful, and I wanted to find a way to use that, but not in like a morbid kind of way. I wanted to use it how I actually feel like it's coming across, to me at least, is it feels empowering. I'm done with the trouble of the world, but what am I going to do? And I guess that's how I came up with the song "Hold On." So basically, in this song, I found this start. I'm going to press play. I found this sample. Here it is here in real life. Yeah, I find the key. I like to do it a pedal. You hear there's a pedal there. So just quickly, I'm kind of pedaling on F. I find that generally how I start something. I find the sample. I like to don't love time stretching samples. I love to hear them for how they really were in some way, which is funny because, I did remove some of the drums and stuff. I actually used AI to remove some of the drums and some of the other instruments so I could just get that vocal. But I still wanted to hear the essence of that vocal. I didn't want to time stretch it. I generally don't want to time stretch it. I just want to hear it kind of like in its normal pitch and its normal fidelity, and then work around it. Whether that's kind of being creative with the way it's fitting in, if I had to speed it up or whatever, but fitting in with my 140 or 120 dance music. But anyway, so this F, right, is the pedal. And then it's like felt nice the way that harmonizes it. And then E flat. Yeah. Back to F minor. And then we'll go again. Down. Yeah, I was like, oh yeah. James Blakey, Oh yeah. And then it goes to there's a C dominant 7 at the end, which is building to go somewhere. The next step of this song was the word "hold on." It's actually not in the sample, but I wanted to find a way to say the word "hold on." And so the original, actually, if I can find it on the computer here, it's I think the original says "Oh Lordy," I think. If I can find it, there it is. Oh Lordy, which is so cool. But I guess like I wanted to take that essence and I wanted to give it something new and I wanted to respond to it. So I got my friend Rick Rufio in. He came in and we grabbed that idea of "Oh Lordy" and he resung it but said "Hold on," which is cool and it worked out great. I'm going to show you that. Yeah, so he's a great singer, and he sings with. He's a lead singer of Flight Facilities, one of the lead singers of Flight Facilities live show, and he does heaps of cool stuff. We've done a lot of stuff in the past, so I'm lucky that he would come in and do it. I was like, "Come in, man, we'll work on something together," which is nice. And yeah, anyway, hold on, and then I felt like that was just complimenting that. I'll be done with the trouble of the world, but hey, like hold on, because that's what I want to say. The world's like crazy, man. It's crazy, and so many levels, and I just feel like we can find a way through. Yeah. And then the last sample, there's a couple of other things in there, but the last sample is basically this great little bit here. Wow, if I ever hear a choir or a choral, I think that's maybe 3 backing singers. Oh, it'll make it. Oh, yeah, it will make it into the song. I just that's maybe even been the thing that got me onto it. I was just like, whoa, obviously big fan of Jamie XX and he loves that stuff too. So yeah, I think there's something it just gets, to my heart. You just like, yeah, something about people singing together. There's a spirituality, I don't know, some thing we don't understand, but you know what it's like if you're in a room, there's 10 people gathered around and they're all singing at the top of their lungs. Whoa, doesn't that feel amazing? And it's hard to represent that in music, but that's maybe why I like those kind of things so much. But yeah, let's hold on. In a nutshell, that's how I found the sample. Yeah, not much more to say about this. Thanks for listening to my song. Oh yeah, well, free samples. I am going to include a free sample pack. Um, this is a special one, actually. This I recorded with my friend Ben, who goes by the name Half Speed. Basically, he had a nice piano at the time, and I said, "Hey, can you just record little bits and pieces of you playing piano?" And I'm just gonna chop it up. I'm gonna put it into my cassette machine. Yeah, and then I kind of like got it phasing on the input, and then I did some tape loop stuff when you can hear it jutting. I have a whole bunch of these, but I'll share one of the keys, uh, which is actually one of my most special sample packs. So